welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Emily, and I am doing a flip through of this junk journal that I made from just a regular book that I got at Goodwill. And yeah, so I'm definitely into making more of these, and hopefully adding them to an Etsy shop that I just started, which I don't have really anything in there, so I'm not gonna link it just yet because there's really nothing there to link. But I did just want to show you guys this, I guess, finished journal. One of my husband's coworkers gave me a bunch of vintage books that I'm going to just keep on a bookshelf because they're too old for me to feel okay about taking them apart. Pretty much anything before, like, pre-1960, I will probably never ever take apart to use. So anyway, so yeah, so I'm gonna hang on to them, but it was a nice gesture of him, so I made this book as a token of my appreciation, and to also kind of give him an idea of what I'm doing with books. And hopefully he will keep an eye out on things that will work well for the projects that I'm doing. So let's get started. I pretty much went all out on this book with a couple exceptions on the inside. I am still learning, so I have learned more techniques since I've made this. But I have the most fun decorating the covers, the front and back, and the spine, and I have the most fun making the charms. The inside is fun, however, it kind of feels more like a chore for me. I do enjoy it, but I guess as far as like the rest of the book, yeah, it feels like a little bit of a chore. But anyway, let's get started. I picked this book up at Goodwill, and I believe it was like a story about vampires. And I pretty much gutted the book and left the cover and spine intact. And I covered the title with some muslin ribbon and like just some vintage trim. I added a book plate, and then I put in a printed label that I got off the internet for free, and I just printed that and stuck it in there. And then I added a bulb pin with a little rhinestone charm. And then I used just some extra fabric that I had at home to make the closure. And I tied it on the spine to a piece of wire ribbon but I removed the wire. I removed the wire out of the ribbon. Yeah, so I didn't want it poking, and I just didn't want it in there. So that is the closure. On the spine, I have a couple charms hanging off of a Tim Holtz clasp here. One of them is just a regular pearl bubblegum bead hanging off the end there. And then the other one has some things like keys, pearls, a little teacup with some, I guess, detail on there. More little pearls, the little mushroom bead from Joann's, and another key. And then I've made these tassels before, but they just look really good on these books. So I added one here onto just a regular little jewelry. It's like a bracelet clasp, but that's what I use for my tassels. And I added just some random things in there. Some stuff on the ends, but it's mostly ribbons. And yeah, so I will show you the inside. Now, oh, I forgot to say, I did do some embossing before I put on the book corners. I thought I grabbed my clear embossing powder, and it ended up being white, which was too late for me to change. And it doesn't look too bad. It works out. And then on the back, I did find my clear embossing powder, and I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me try to fix the lighting here a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see it on there, like the details, but they're just a bunch of random flowers that I embossed on the back of the cover. The theme I was going for with this book was kind of a botanical, floral, sort of farm fresh journal. So the inside, I have a clear pocket here with a library card, which seems to be kind of a popular thing for like other junk journalers to do. I've had these clear pockets and I got them at Target a couple of years ago. I know they still have them, but I didn't know what to do with them. And then I saw a video out there that a gal was using them in her like traveler's journal. And yeah, and then I started watching more of YouTube videos of junk journals, and it's like a thing. So I'm on board that wagon. Anyway, I used a library card to just kind of stick in there. I stamped the date of when I made the book. And I also did a custom handmade in Washington stamp. And then these printables you'll see throughout the book. They are from a Etsy shop, and she also does really beautiful junk journals. And her name is Johanna Clough, I believe. And I think her Etsy shop is called like Little Bindy. But I will link it below. Why do I keep yawning? Whew. And what I did was printed the same image on just some printer paper, regular office printer paper, so it would be double-sided. So I added some tracing paper. I did do tea dye paper in here. Another of Johanna's images, so you'll see those throughout. You can pretty much tell they're hers because they're just images of little doilies. This is vintage music paper. I found a book at an estate sale and picked that up and was excited to use that. This is a big tuck spot here with a Prima marketing card. Then an envelope is just attached with lots of different pieces in here that you can use, the recipient can use. I embossed this image. I used washi tape throughout, another one of Johanna's images. I did just do some seam binding on top of paper clips there. This is just a taped in little piece for, you know, a tuck spot for journaling. Another one of Johanna's linen piece printables. I used some of my daughter's writing paper here. And then on the back of here, I attached some tulle, and then there's just a bunch of different things in there. Yeah. This one's cool, and I really like it. I like the way it feels, and I just love how it turned out. But I Mod Podged a napkin over a piece of printer paper. And then I hot glued some lace and added a little pin for extra embellishment. And then I sewed a fabric pocket that matches the fabric on the spine. And there's 2 tuck spots there. This is from another one of my daughter's books. She let me have it. She said I could have it, and she picked it out herself. And it is just a coloring, like from the coloring books, like the adult coloring books. So I thought that would be fun to have in there. And then here's the other side of the Mod Podge. I did some stamping. I did staple some of these little ribbon tabs on randomly throughout the book. I like how those looked. Here's a bobby pin with some ribbon, and then these are just some Tim Holtz ephemera pieces. And then here's like a folder with a tuck spot for some, you know, want to hide your journaling or whatnot. And then this actually opens up. This is just a card, an Anna Griffin card. And it opens up to another little kind of hidden tuck spot. And you can just, I'll retie that. And then here is a printable from Johanna's shop. I pretty much fussy cut around it, but I love the detail on that one. Some more die cuts from Tim Holtz ephemera pack. Here's a belly band with just a little card. And then I added some printed images there with some lace. I did made a little clip here with a Tim Holtz charm. I did some stenciling and did some just inking on there. Here's a glassine bag with some ephemera in it. This is a Prima card that says Tales of Us with some, I guess, vintage photo booth people. I thought that was cute. And then here is just another fold out. This is a book page from a book, what's it called? It's like a guide to behavior book. And this one is Decent Dress for Ladies and Gentlemen. I thought the book was pretty awesome. Let me grab it. I want to show you guys the book published here. Let's see. You see it's like how ginormous it is. This was published in 1991. The outer cover didn't come with the book, so I don't know what it looked like, but this is Miss Manners' Guide to excruciatingly correct behavior. And I got the book because I wanted the cover because it's huge and I was gonna make this massive journal, right? Just like massive. And then I was like, I did this one and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. But I started to go through the book and I was like, oh my gosh, these pages in here are so awesome. Like there's some images, but they're like, it's just cool. It'll be cool to incorporate into junk journals. So like how to act in restaurants, rules for toasting. What else do we have? A replay, splitting the check, separate checks, Chinese restaurants, a word of advice. You get the idea. Wine tasting. It's just so cool. Like I found that at the Goodwill and I paid $1.99 for it. Usually I feel like Goodwill books are a little bit pricey. Actually, I might have paid $2.99, but it's still worth it. I don't care. So I ripped out the book page for that, and I just tucked it in this little tuck spot. And yeah, so here's an envelope. This is like the first ever envelope I made with my We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board. I had a heck of a time with that, but hey, I went to YouTube, I turned to YouTube and it pretty much helps me with everything in life, right? All the tutorials out there. It's just amazing that people just share their knowledge of creating and just using things. So, yeah, it's great. But there's just like some little ephemera in the envelope. And then this is another tuck spot. So it opens up at the top. I paper clipped a little embellished flower there, embroidered flower, so they can move it throughout the book with a pin with a rose there. And then this is another little envelope I got off AliExpress. Apparently I ordered them like 3 times because I got 3 packs of those envelopes, so I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. Here's another tuck spot at the top. Those are so fun because they're like secret. And then, yeah, so we're approaching the end here. And here's another envelope with some more vintage images, some more of that napkin. I use the Anna Griffin envelope, so I love that it's lined. And then here's a tuck spot on the back of the envelope. Here is a tag that can be moved throughout the book, and then I made a little pin. Let me show you. It's just like a little Tim Holtz pin, and it has a flower and then the heart that says "Made with Love." The book lays pretty flat, so it shouldn't be hard to write on or in, excuse me. Here's just a little banner that flips up, and the end of the book is looking like this. So I added some lace, and then here is some trim from Hobby Lobby, which I spotted today actually, and added that in there real quick. And then another little card. I love that card from Prima. And then this is like the extra stuff that I thought I could just include because otherwise I would just toss it. So I added it into just one of these envelopes that I believe it got from Target. So yeah. So that is the book I will be gifting to my husband's coworker to say thank you, for gifting me some vintage books. he has a antique shop that I need to go check out that they do on the side. So I'm going to go check that out here probably in the next couple weeks to just kind of see what kind of good stuff they have. And yeah, so I hope you guys liked the flip through. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I would totally appreciate that. And then if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe so you can see more of my my books, because I've got more coming to you. All right, guys. Any questions? Let me know in the comments. Take care.